Hi guys, welcome to the live chat with me and a live broadcast of the CAT 2019 paper and my first impressions on them. First pre-qualification from my side is that this is uh, this is a session on the second slot of the paper of the exam, not about the first slot. Uh, because I've not seen the first slot, so frankly I cannot comment based on reports that I've got from people. Although in the first lot, I think uh, the main aspect or the main change between the two uh, were basically the data interpretation and logical reasoning section, where it was much tougher in the second slot than apparently it was in the first slot. The second slot had approximately 5 or 6 sets which were doable, but 2 3 sets were almost non-doable in the second slot. They were very very intricate, a lot of lot of uh, possibilities, etc. So effectively, you was just solving out of around 20 questions in the second slot. So first of all, let's go section by section. I think there was some consistency in the verbal ability, reading comprehension section also. There was consistency in the sense that both the slots were almost equally tough, and definitely tougher than the CAT 17 or the CAT 18 paper, both in the reading comprehension as well as the specifically in the reading comprehension. Not so much in the verbal ability. I felt in the slot two paper. Slot two verbal ability was slightly on the easier side than CAT 2018, or for that matter, even 2017. Especially the parajumbles, etc., were shorter and less philosophical and less intricate than the 17-18 papers. So if you look at 17 or 18, out of 4 parajumbles, there were approximately two that had shorter sentences and could be placed easily. In this paper, all the four, and at least in the slot two, had that this thing. Although summaries were slightly tricky, and if you're not clear about how to solve summary questions, you'll make mistakes there. So I pre-qualified the session right at the start, which I have not seen the first slot, so I can't comment on that. So the second slot. So I would think, if you typically look at where we were in the last 2 years in verbal ability, reading comprehension. Yeah, Naman, maybe I would not know you, but good to hear that. I was in what was that, Gagan Vihar or someplace? Yeah, I'll talk about that, Rohan, also. So if you look at the CAT 2017 and 18 papers uh, in English, 2017 and 18 test papers effectively had scores in the range of approximately what you can say around 75 at 99 percentile. So I think this year being a tougher exam, at least on the RC part, and not too much difficulty level change in the uh, in the summary part of the VA section. I would think, or no, neither was there too much difficulty change in the uh, odd man out part. Just the parajumble was slightly easier than last year. So on balance, I think the VRC paper was tougher than last year. So you would have typically a breakdown of approximately, I would say 65 to 70 would be the range for a 99 percentile in VRC. I think there'll be a 5 mark drop on the 99 percentile score. CAT 17 and 18, effectively 99 percentile at the scale score of 75 was good enough. So that is where VRC was. Uh, I don't remember that question, Shagar. or at least I would not remember questions and answers at this point. And since I'm speaking parallelly, can't focus on individual questions. So 65 to 70 would be the range for approximately 99 percentile. So what you can typically do is wherever CAT 18 had 95, you drop it by around 5 marks. There'll be a 5 mark drop according to me. That's my guesstimate. I have not checked what other people are saying, etc. And hence 65 to 70 would be the range. 70 marks plus in VRC, I think should be pretty good in CAT 19. Now coming to the slot 2 DILR, I think I would think that last year, if you look at 100 percentile, I had scored 100 percentile last year in DILR with 25 attempts, and I think this year it was simply not possible to do 25 attempts. It was much more unless you started guessing, etc. So if you were trying to solve for the sake of solving, I think 5 sets was the ultimate you could reach in the section in DILR and slot 2. So that's going to be again a drop. I think there would be a drop of at least around 10 marks. So last year 100 percentile was at 75 and a 99 percentile would have been at around 50. I would guess around 40 will be the 99 percentile value this year. So the easiest sets, I think one of the sets that I didn't do because I reached that only with 3 minutes, 4 minutes left, was the one with the triangular representation of costs and revenues. That was doable, pretty doable. The rainfall set was pretty easy. It was doable very quickly. The doctor set was doable. That was quite easy. It was in fact it was 6-7 minutes. So that is where I would feel this would come up as. So I would typically think that DILR, at least in slot 2, yes, the proposal set was very tricky. It was very tricky. In fact, there were too many possibilities with getting built. The proposal set, the coin set, where you had so many variables unknowns in the coins, as well as the shooting, the tournament set. All three were very difficult, and they kind of even the language and people. Don't worry, Bhumika. There's always a way back. There's always a way back to fight. Yeah, the language one was also not not so straight. There were a lot of possibilities getting built in that. So I would rate the DILR this year to be tougher than 18 say tougher 17 tha, but 17 se tougher 19 hai, because if you look at the sets in 17, yeah, I think 24 26 marks should be 80 percentile definitely in DILR. So if you look at the 17 paper, even if the test questions were lengthy, you had complete control of every clue that was there, right? So every clue that was there inside the session, inside the question on DILR, you had complete control of that. This exam, at least for those 3-4 sets, keeping control of every clue and being definitively clear about what to put where was proving to be very tricky. So at least that's what I felt. Maybe I'm getting old for CAT now, so maybe my results will speak for that. But at least in the verbal section, I did not feel that. But that's what I would think. So my vote would be maybe the 100 percentile will drop around 5-7 marks to around 70. So there will be consecutively a 5 mark, 7 mark. Yeah, doctor said it was quite easy comparatively. The last 2 questions required a little bit of workout, but the first 2 questions were straight, right, and 54, 36, 24 Poseidon, 114 marks on this score breakup. See, I'll come to the final this thing. Yeah, the 6 teacher side was also doable, quite doable. Yes, Shraddha. So ST category doesn't need to bother too much about sectional cutoffs. Cherry, even if you've done 4 questions correct, 10-15 marks also should be enough for you, right? So that was slot one. I'm not sure of Mahima, so I really can't comment. Abhishek Pandey says language said was on the easier side. Yes, it was easier than the other three, but not as straight as norm as the other three as the other sets were. So I would say 12 questions were straight and simple. 8 questions were doable but tricky, and 12 questions were almost what we can call in mixed English and Hindi non-hillable. वो हिल नहीं रहा था कहीं से किसी भी angle से. It was very, and you required a tremendous amount of confidence and self belief to be able to go through, which even the best guys would have got shaken on that. Quants, of course, 18 se down easier, 17 se tougher tha obviously. So if you look at quants, last year I think 55 marks was 100 was 99 percentile. So my thought in quants would be that around 5 to 10 marks ka change aega quants mein on the positive side, right? So as I've been predicting in my batches, etc., I was telling people, and also wrote in my blog on MBA Universe that there's a good chance of um, number systems coming back. I was getting that feeling because you start getting a hunch. People are not preparing number systems. People are doing more of arithmetic, more of algebra, more of geometry. These two based on the last 2 years, and you know that CAD will surprise you with a lot of number systems, and that they did. So huge emphasis on that. But the questions were elementary, so anybody who had prepared well uh, would have done that well. So quants, my vote would be around 60-65. So a 5-7 mark drop in verbal, a 10 mark drop in DI. That's what I would estimate, and 5 to 10 marks increase in uh, uh, in quantitative aptitude. These three changes would overall lead to a slight sluggishness on the overall scores. So I would think that maybe there would be a 5 mark drop approximately. Although these are all conjectures, so the proof of the pudding and the eating. So when the actual results come out in January, we'll all know. Yeah, PNC का एक भी question नहीं आया था बिना अभिषेक. So I think my guess would be this is last year I think 150 पे था ना 99 percentile. 150 152 was 99 percentile. So I think it will be around 145, somewhere in the range of 145 to 150. There might be a 5 mark downside on the 99 percentile, principally because it was much tougher to score in RC and much tougher to score in DILR, right? So it would be approximately a 145 to 150. That would be my thinking or my guess, or it might just remain at last year's level. Last year's level with a small sluggishness of 5 to 7 marks downwards for the 99 percentile, and for every other percentile it will be a similar story. So if you look at CAT 18, 120 was approximately a 95, 94, 95 percentile. So this year that would be around 115 to 120, that range. So it might stick at it might maintain 120 with a 5 mark sluggishness there. 54 marks. Shadab will give you approximately I think 99% will be quant 65, 60, 65. 65 plus, I guess, this year. 99 percentile, at least 10 marks more than last year. So if that is there, the 54 marks will give you somewhere between the 95 97 percentile range, right? So this is what I would put up. Yeah, slot two was I heard the slot two one was easier, but I really can't comment because I've not seen the paper, and unless I see and look at the questions, I can't make make much. It'll depend on your scores, Sai. How many you get correct. 57 attempts is not bad. Uh, Verbal mein, the verbal part, as I said, the parajumbles became easier this year. I thought it was much easier this year, parajumbles, but the RC part was definitely more difficult. While the difficulty level in the other verbal question types was almost same. 85 percentile last year कितना last year जो number था 85 percentile का I don't have it off the cuff on my hands, but it'll more or less be the same with a 5 mark drop downside. Yeah, I think I heard that slot 1 was much easier in DILR. So Vipil, was that first slot or second? I really don't know about that, Jay Krishnan. I just go into the paper just like that without any preparation. So I really don't care what my percentiles are. So yeah, slot 1, because slot 2 was LRT was 32, then I would have kind of sent you a, a thumbs up or maybe a chill drink for you. So slot 2 32 was impossible, almost to do. Last year 90 marks tha na, 85 percentile location, so it will be minus 5 maybe. You come to 85 to 90 range. Yeah, question paper will be released, and so will the answer keys to the question paper. Good to hear that, Rishabh. Right, so that is it from my side. I guess I want to be regular. We're trying to set up a proper recording studio before we start being regular on this channel. For you 114 marks Poseidon, you will get approximately somewhere between a 93 to 95 percentile, maybe with a bias on the lower side of that. 90%, I would say 105 marks, 100, 105, 110. This thing. Optional answer key, I think. Optional answer key, I guess I don't remember the dates. I'm not good at those. Maybe 15-20 days में आ जाना चाहिए. Puzzles, I think I did 4.5 only this year. Could do only 17-18 questions. Very tough. 96 marks, 85 to 90 percentile. Good to hear that, Abhishek. Good to hear that. $77 attempts है तो अच्छा है योगेश. 80% accuracy को तो 55 right अगर है तो that's not too good वैसे. Good to hear that, Rishabh. Welcome. To hear that. My DILR was only 17 this time. Very disappointing for me. So I'm not very sure about the DILR. Quants I did 31 questions, so quants I'm okay. And verbal I did 34. So verbal I'm okay. Yeah, I do take classes both in Mindworks CP as well as the online course. So IFT के लिए I'll take a separate session, which I'll talk about later. Really don't know, Nitin. I'm not competing with him. Patrick is a good friend, by the way. Suggestion for IFT, I'll talk about that later. 135 plus. I would think that the DILR will get of slot 2. They should do to be fair to people who gave slot 2, they will have to do a upward normalization of the DILR section. अगर वो करते हैं तो 135 will turn up to be 145. There should be, if what I'm hearing is right, there's at least a 10-12 mark jump that they have to give you for DILR in slot 2. Right? So I think VRC में similar रहेगा, quants में भी similar रहना चाहिए. DILR slot 2 should definitely increase. Right? 135 plus, if that is your scaled score, Sai Krishna, then you can expect a 97, 98 percentile. If it scales up to 140, 145, then you can even hit 99. So keep your fingers crossed. Right? Slot 2 is definitely tougher. I'll repeat this again. 99 is at 145, 150. 95 will be at 115, 120. So between that, you can extrapolate the numbers. Right? So good then. I think thanks a lot for coming in. Depends on other things, profile, percentages, engineer, non-engineer, all those things. 100 marks percentile will be around 90. Right? Chalo then. So I'll take leave. Thanks a lot. Good night, everyone. Slot 1, 130. One last message from my side. There's no need to be depressed. It's part of the game, and MBA is no longer the preserve of CAT. First of all, so you can always fight back from where you are. Fight back points IFT this year itself. Next week, ZAT in first week January. Focus on these things, and in case you don't make it through any of these top exams, then you plan a year of restructuring your profile, your biodata, and fight back and make sure that you don't give up on your dreams of a top MBA college. Always go for a top MBA college, right? It will depend on your accuracy, Akshay. Yes, that focus on the ZAT. Go for it completely. Yes, IFT. I'll talk about. I'll do a live session maybe in a day or two. I'll ask Meenakshi ma'am also to take a session on the English part, and I'll do something on the quants DI part soon. Right? Yeah, IFT is part of the game, Nitin. So obviously, I think last year, I don't remember when the official answer key came out. 10, 15, 20 days. Give it 20 days time. Right? 60 percentile के लिए VRC में I think anywhere 20-25 marks should be enough. Depends on what you are doing, Shivam. Depends on what you're doing, Shivam. So if you've been using the 2 years well, then it should be fine. I didn't get that question. That was one of the 3 questions I couldn't solve. 3 circles, common tangent, 1. I really couldn't understand how you can make 3 circles with a common tangent. Right? I tried to make it through 2-3 different figures. I couldn't make it out. So मुझे भी लगा कि but last year भी मेरे को एक question लगा था, लेकिन बाद में I realized that I was thinking wrong. So maybe I've not really thought too much about it after the exam. I was myself down with my DILR attempts, but I guess life goes on for all of us. Median वाले का आंसर मुझे याद नहीं है अब. Thanks a lot, Shivam. MDI के लिए 96. Maybe I don't know. With my DILR, I'm pretty scared of dropping down, Nitin. So, but only solace I have, that's happened to me. What would have happened to people across the country? So, and the fact that slot 1 was easier, so maybe there's going to be some kind of rationalization there, right? So anyway, so I'll wind up then. So I hope you guys keep fighting. The best thing to do now is DLR 95 percentile. I think 3 sets are more than enough. maybe 10 questions पे ही आ जाएगा 95. New batches, etc. You can inquire at the office, Nitin. My exam great in VRC. I think I've done better. I'm expecting a 90, 85, 90 in VRC. I got a 75 last year, I think, in VRC. And quants also I should score 85 plus there, but DI I don't know, 45, 50, whatever. I don't know. I scored 75 last year, so I really don't know what's going to happen to me. Right to my percentile. So I'm not thinking much about this. So we'll talk about it. So if I score a 90 and 85 and 40, I might get to 220 approximately. But let's see whether they give 20 people 100 percentile or they stick 12 people 100 percentile. Those are also factors at that level. Right. So chalo. Fine. Bye bye. I'm sorry I have come live on YouTube after a long time, after a long time. And I think I'll be doing this more regularly going forward. Chalo, thank you so much. Bye bye. Bye bye, everyone. Great having all of you. Good night and God bless.